Hey, enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language episode 626.
The sexiest podcast on the network. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
hola, Brian.
Well, hello there.
How you doing, huh?
I'm
You
doing.
doing? I wasn't. I was.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if we're gonna record tonight.
dude, this up and down weather's
Oh, I
wrecking me.
bet.
I'll tell you what, it's like 90 one day and then like 70 the
Oh, it's gonna
next.
be hot as
It's like,
fuck on Thursday. Good thing I'm not
I
working.
know. I saw that, but oh boy, yeah,
I know, right?
yeah. I had to take a take a little nap and see if that would kill off the little bit of a headache I had, and it seems to have worked. So hooray!
Good.
But yeah,
Yeah,
oof.
you know what's weird? Now that you mentioned a headache is over the weekend there was like 2 days in a row. I just had this lingering headache. I just couldn't get rid of this shit.
Hmm.
It was like,
Did you apply liquor to it liberally?
yeah, I did the one day.
All right.
'Cause
Well, that's all I got then.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean not liberally, but more. I had more beers than I normally have anymore, and
Right.
that didn't help. I'll be honest.
All right.
Like
Fair
I
enough.
woke up that next day and I was like, God, it's still there, and I'm like, well, I did have more beers, and so I took some Tylenol and it just never went away. And then towards the
Yeah.
end of the day, I'm like, let me switch it up. I took some ibuprofen, and then that
Yeah.
took care of it.
Yeah. Tylenol doesn't. I don't even take Tylenol for my stuff anymore because I've outgrown it.
Well, I'm not taking baby Tylenol.
Yeah. It just doesn't do anything for my headaches. I start with Excedrin and then, I move on to the
Heroin.
prescription stuff, yeah, or heroin,
Yeah,
whichever, you know. Whatever whichever's within a reach,
of
you
course,
know. Hmm.
naturally.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Uh, yeah, it's yeah, this week's probably going to be a mess for me cuz it's literally what it was like 80 something today. Tomorrow it's supposed to be like 70 something, I
Yeah.
think. Then it's going to warm a little on Wednesday and then like, you
Yeah,
know,
then Satan's asshole opens up.
on
Oh
Thursday,
boy.
and then back into like the 70s after that,
Of
basically.
course. Why not?
I mean, it makes sense, It's actually it doesn't because our norm this time of year is like 84. It's just a weird cold front and everything. I'm sure that tropical storm will be messing with the whole country's weather for a little bit
Well,
too.
yeah, why not, right?
So yeah, it's funny. I was excuse me, like I saw people were really giving Californian shit about, like, oh, you can't handle a little rain or whatever. And it
Did
was
you see
like,
some of those
you don't
floods?
understand. Yeah, well, it's like you don't understand that those areas typically get like 2.5 inches of rain a
Yeah.
year. They got 10 inches in a
Yeah.
day,
Yeah,
you
they
know?
did.
Yeah. But it's like learn some topography, you know. It's like it can't handle that much water that quickly, and then it becomes mudslides or flooding rivers or
Dude, a
whatever. It's
mudside's
like,
delicious. So what's the problem?
yeah, no, not the
Oh
drink, not the
no.
drink. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
but it's Jesus.
people are idiots.
I mean, I know it seems funny, right? Like if you live in an area like where we are, we get enough rain that that kind of rain would really suck here. There's potential flooding, but that would really be the end of it. We wouldn't really have to worry about
No.
mudslides and all that kind of shit here because we don't have the elevation
Well,
that they have there. That's like they were saying on the Weather Channel yesterday. It was like even once the rain is done and the water kind of recedes on the roads, that water still has to come down the
right,
mountains.
exactly.
So you still can
Like
have
fucking Jane's
mudslides and
Addiction,
rock
right?
slides. Yeah.
Coming down the mountain. Oh, there's a
But,
ding.
so there's that whole next level of things that like we wouldn't have to worry
No.
about here,
Well, and I think
So,
we get enough rain here that our natural areas just kind of like set up to take care of the rain for us. We got all
exactly.
kinds of like
Right.
creeks and rivers and shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like that area is not meant to
Yeah.
handle that level of rain, and it turns from, when you put a bunch of water on top of incredibly dry soil, it does not absorb it. It
No.
just runs basically, and that's where you have, you know, uh the land gets diarrhea
Oh
basically.
man. The earthy squirts.
Yeah.
What a problem that is. We don't like that.
No. But I get it. I mean, I think everybody's pretty much guilty of it, of making fun of a region. Like when the South gets like half an inch of snow and everything is shut down, and we're like, that's it.
Yeah, like pathetic.
Meanwhile, we get 120-degree heat up here, and we're like, oh my god, this is the worst thing. And it's for like one day.
Oh yeah.
And meanwhile, they have like 3 weeks of it. We're like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. They're like, yeah, really? You can't handle. Or when it hits 90 up here and everyone starts griping, and they're like, really?
I mean, yeah, we do gripe, you sons of bitches.
Right? They're like, you're complaining about being the devil's asshole. Meanwhile, we're halfway up his colon.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So yeah, I saw a couple of California people posting similar stuff today, and I was like, that's such a good point. Is that you don't understand the like you said, out there is not built for it. Here is, or like Miami's used to getting a ton of rain, type of a thing. But to get, when you consider, that you're getting like 5 times or 4 times your yearly amount of rain within a day. It was funny on the Weather Channel last night. They were going like, just for proportional sake, they were like, that'd be like Miami getting like 46 inches of rain or something like that.
Right, exactly.
And they were going through different cities going, that'd be like this city getting, and it was like, yeah, when you start looking at it proportionally, you start going, oh, wow, that is like our system here couldn't handle 40 inches of rain. Everything would be flooded. The roads would all be washed out, because it's not built for that much rain. And, so yeah, it's another one of those situations where a lot of us, it's fun to make jokes, but also maybe, we should all kind of take a step back, because really what we're doing by making those jokes is we're showing how naive we are.
True, but gallows humor, Brian.
Right. No, I understand. Yeah. I'm honestly, I'm just glad that was mostly rain, and what it didn't, hit like a full hurricane and do like Florida hurricane type damage to people's homes and their lives and stuff. I mean, I'm sure, there'll be reports of damage and stuff like that, but I haven't really heard a big like death toll or anything. So, that's always good.
We got plenty of time for wildfires still, so we're all right.
Jeez, seriously,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, now that the rain's gone, let's get those fires going again.
Yeah. That's what I saw somebody post on Twitter yesterday was, they were like, yeah, all this rain couldn't hit the area that's got all the wildfires up in, what is it, like Oregon or whatever, wherever, I was like, yeah, of course not.
That's not God's plan or
that's
whatever.
Not how it works. Yep.
I'll say yep.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So, anyway. It's weird watching, like when you watch like the Weather Channel though, and they're covering something like this, because they're running 24 hours.
Yeah.
So when you turn it on can be really interesting, because you can hit that part to where they're like, we've kind of already said everything there is to be said,
but we gotta keep going.
Yeah, it's like now we kind of get silly, and that's where like they were getting into the, that's like Miami getting 40 inches of rain, and they're just like, what else can we do to educate and fill airtime here? Especially as the storm was, dying down a little bit.
Right.
It was like, okay, it's a lot of rain still coming in, and but yeah, because like our weather here, if the local weather, I mean, at a certain point they're like, okay, we're going to send you back to regular programming. Well, with the Weather Channel, it's like they do have other shows and stuff, but during something like this, they generally stick on that only.
Well, thank God they haven't gone the route of like TLC, when they're like, well, let's do 30-Day Fiance with the weather in the background or something.
They do have weather-based programming.
Wait, what sort of weather-based programming do they have?
They have a show where it's a guy, I can't think of the guy's name. He's a former football player, not like a real big name football player, but he was a former NFL player, and his wife, and they go to areas where people have lost their home or something to like a hurricane, and they help them fix the house.
Oh, I see.
Right. So, and during the process, they also generally will go learn about some weather related whatever. So it's a learning situation as well as
Right.
reality
I
TV
see they've
kind of
got
thing.
stuff like Weather Gone Viral, Fast
Yep,
Home Rescue,
that's it. Fast Home Rescue is the one I'm talking
Deadliest
about.
Space Weather,
All right, that one I haven't seen.
Hacking the Planet. I don't know who
Oh,
this guy is that hosts Storm Riders. I hate his chin strap beard.
all right, fair enough.
Yeah, wow. I didn't realize that the Weather Channel was, I mean, I guess they're like, all right, how much can we talk about the hurricane?
Well, normally what they do is they kind of show, they talk about the weather all around the country, but even still, after so long of doing that, it's kind of like ESPN, right? With Sports
Yeah.
Center. How many times do you need to run Sports Center? Eventually you need something else to run.
See, Brian, I remember the good old days when I'd go visit my aunt and uncle in Columbus. And for
Hmm.
some reason, no matter what was going on, time of day, it doesn't matter. In their one room, the Weather Channel was always on. Front and center,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And it was just the shit music, the
Yeah.
local radar, and then they would cut.
The local on the
Yeah,
eights.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
they would cut to the national stuff and then it would just go back to just like the radar screen. And
Yeah.
we liked it. We loved it.
Yeah. Right. Now it's way
Yeah,
more than
now it's
that.
deadliest space weather.
Damn, I kind of want to watch Deadliest
I
Space Weather. I
mean,
haven't seen.
it does sound kind of sick, let's be honest.
I've seen a bunch of their other shows because like they've got a show where this guy dives for, I think it's on there, where he like dives for lost thing, like where people lose like their wedding ring or wherever.
Right.
He'll try to dive and find it, and he'll also talk about like the maybe that's on Animal Planet. I don't remember. I get confused, but anyways, so he talks about like the animals and stuff under there. So yeah, that's probably Animal Planet. But there's another show that I've seen on Weather Channel. I can't remember what it is. There's the ones like, would you survive kind of thing too, where, it'll be like a mudslide's happening, your car's getting buried with mud, like, do you A, B, or C?
What was fuck, what was that show? It was on like I think it was on Spike and it was just like it was basically dumb ways to die to show.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty much what it was called. It was like Crazy Ways to Die, or it was
Yeah,
something
it was
like
like
that.
some guy dropped a 2-liter bottle and it spiked his nose bone into his brain. And it was like
Right.
this weird slow-mo reenactment of shit.
Right. 1,000 Ways to
That's
Die.
it. I used
Yeah.
to watch the shit out of that.
I did. I did too. Even though I think it was like the narrator drove me crazy, but
It was that, and it was the now that you look back on it, slightly racist Deadliest Warrior show.
oh yeah, forgot about
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
You remember they made fighting games for that?
yeah,
Oh yeah. I think actually I
Yep.
could stream those on PlayStation Plus. I should. Yeah, just
Probably.
check it out. I want to be a
Mhm.
Zulu warrior. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I do appreciate with the Weather Channel, like the programs they have on there are pretty much there. There's one, oh dude, there's one where it's this woman who thinks she's hilarious, but you know how like a lot of the TV shows they'll have somebody that thinks they're real funny, but first of all the material's garbage, so they can't be funny even if they are funny.
For sure.
You
Yeah.
know, but then also they're not funny.
Right.
But and it's basically supposed to be like I don't know how to word it, like ridiculousness, but with weather videos, basically.
Oh God.
And the videos are fun to
Oh,
watch.
that must have
Sometimes,
been the
but
weather most viral or something.
yes, that's what it. Yeah, and yeah,
Oh,
it's
Weather Channel.
like they always have her having to make, or I guess I should compare it more to like America's Funniest Home Videos, because that's more like it, because she's always got to make the dumb comment about the video, and like I said, I don't necessarily blame her because that's all written for
I've never
her.
even seen it, and I blame her.
Yeah, but you got to give somebody some actual.
Do they have the
like,
laugh track put into it?
I don't remember there being a laugh track. In my head, there might be one because it feels like it should have one.
Like
but
some old guy out in the middle of a field just getting pounded by hail, or she's like,
yeah,
looks like they really threw a Hail Mary.
yeah, yeah. Well, it'd have to be a woman then,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, or he gets hit by a woman. Like it's in the middle of a hailstorm, and then just some woman gets like thrown through the air and hits him. Looks like that was a Hail Mary.
Titter, 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 titter.
Got shot.
Yeah, for sure.
But that show, it's like I enjoy watching the videos on that, but I could do without her.
That's fair.
In fairness, whoever they put in charge of, like in her position, I would probably feel the same way. Because like I said, the jokes are just terrible.
Well, now I got to see who this woman is. Weather gone viral. Stephanie Abrams, I assume, is the host.
Maybe.
Because there's a cast thing here.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Oh, she's got like a weird nugget under her one eye.
No, I don't. No, that's not. I don't think that's it.
Oh, well, I have no idea then.
Yeah.
Oh, she's just a Weather Channel person. Why are you lumping her in with Weather Gone Wild, Google? No wonder you're failing everybody.
Here it is. The show's called World's Funniest Weather.
That's never funny. The only thing that's funny is that one lady gets hit by the stop sign in that hurricane. That's funny.
Well, that's the kind of videos that.
That's the only one, though. I mean, did he just keep looping it?
Guess we better stop playing this. Spang.
World's Funniest Weather. All right, let me pull this up now.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me put it in the thing here. Oh, Jody Miller. Oh, she's apparently a comedian.
Yeah, they always are.
Yeah.
Remember I told you about that one show I watched on like Netflix where it was like a showcase of comedians, and I was like, the guy who's the host of it is just insufferable because he just makes horrible jokes and blah blah blah. It's the same concept, is that you take somebody who's a comedian because you want their time,
right?
Mostly, and then you don't even let them write the jokes. Like, you have other people write the jokes, and I don't think they're actually comedy writers because most of the jokes look like shit that people would have, written on Twitter. So, it's just all pun-based stuff. And it's like, this isn't – puns can be funny, but not when it's every video,
Don't you dare besmirch a pun.
Yeah. Well, no, I love puns, but it's like you gotta move the humor around a little bit. You can't only use puns, basically. You gotta use other comedy as well.
Sometimes you gotta dish it out, do a little passing, shoot it from the key.
Yeah. Right. Omaha.
Exactly.
It's like, it's just funny because for a lot of comedians, because they struggle, a job like that's probably like, hey, it's a steady paycheck, and it sucks because it's probably just destroying their soul on the inside.
Oh, for sure. Guaranteed.
It's like, can I write some of the jokes? No.
Yeah, shut up and read off the prompter, dummy. Now get in front of that green screen and talk about this wind.
Yeah. We're going to play the stop sign video again.
Yeah, exactly. Or they just start throwing stop signs at her.
Yeah.
We're going to do a skit. Bang.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
We're going to need to do that again we're going to need to capture that from a few other angles.
Oh,
she looks like she was in a wrestling death match or something.
Yeah, hardcore champion.
Dude, speaking of death matches.
Oh, okay. Celebrity death match. Why it needs to come back?
No. In wrestling, I'm not a huge fan of like these, I don't know, the anything goes matches in wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
It's like to where it's like, okay, let's just pull all the weapons out and use them.
Right.
And I get why they're part of it. A lot of people love it, but I'm also not like, I don't know. I'm just kind of over it.
ECW.
Now, see, that was different. Because, like, when they do it now, it's, I don't know, it's just different. Well, in ECW, literally thought someone might die. Because someone might die because of the way they do it. And, like, on the indie scene, the way they do death matches, somebody might die. Because there's some crazy people. If you ever want to find out about death matches, watch the Dark Side of the Ring on Nick Gage. Because he basically is an absolute insane person who does these death matches, like, all the time. But they had one on EEW Dynamite last week, and all right, so they come into the show and they're like, they have what they call Fight for the Fallen, where they generally raise money and give it to like soldiers, causes for soldiers
Okay.
or whatever. And this one, they were raising money for food banks in Maui because of the wildfires,
Right.
right? So it's okay, cool. I like that they're doing good shit like that. But then they're like, tonight there's going to be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match between Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett. 60-year-old Jeff Jarrett.
Battle of the
And
Jeffs. There could only be one.
I guess, right? And I'm sitting there going, okay. And I had read online that basically they got like 100. It's because there's a video game out now that's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game, and I heard that they got somewhere around $100,000 to basically sponsor the match and then rebrand kind of stuff around the arena that said Texas Chainsaw Massacre on it. And I'm watching this, and this match is going on, and it's just an awful match. It is not at all the best work Jeff Hardy and or Jarrett could have put on, and it was like when it was over, I was like, oh God, thank you, like thank God it's over. And they, Jeff Jarrett got like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre belt for it. The only cool thing to me in the whole thing, well, first of all, some goober dressed as Leatherface came out and swung around the chains.
I was going to ask about that.
But the only thing that I was like, this is kind of on brand and kind of cool, and is when Jeff Hardy came out, he had a mask on, and it was basically a like human face, and he took it off.
I mean, that's fun.
And then he paints his face all up crazy now, but he had his face painted underneath it. That was kind of like I said, on brand and cool. But other than that, it was over. But I'm just sitting there the whole time, and I'm going, okay, so this is on Fight for the Fallen. You're kind of raising money for either military people who've been injured or hurt, or now for Maui, where there's a lot of people who've been hurt or lost their homes, and it's like, is a death match really the way to celebrate this? Maybe this shouldn't have been on this episode. This should have been on something else. I understand the timing. They wanted to get it out before to promote the game.
Right.
But I just feel like it was, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it felt like it was in bad taste. A little bit.
Here's how they should have done the Texas Chainsaw match. Is you remember when back when I would watch wrestling and they would sometimes they'd do like a remote shot somewhere. Yeah. So they should have done the match in like some shitty house out in the middle of nowhere. And as they're wrestling, then Leatherface comes in, and then they're just trying to get away from Leatherface.
Yeah, well, the way the match kind of started, it's just them doing. What? So, they, geez, my mom just came in and derailed me. It's for a great reason. It's find out that my sister's oncology stuff shows she's cancer free.
Bueno.
So. Very bueno.
I'll drink a beer to that.
Amen to that, right? So it kind of shows them running around backstage, and I'm thinking, okay, it's Jeff Jarrett and his wife are running around backstage and different. I'm like, okay, they're gonna run into Leatherface,
of course, yeah.
Right? But that wasn't it. Leatherface didn't show up until much later, and then he just came out and went down the ramp and I don't know, kind of threatened people, and then left.
Or if they're gonna do it right, they gotta have it be like a cage match, and then there's like hooks and chains and shit.
Yeah. Well, that was my thing. Like I said, it was like I get the overall thing. I get that it was a promotion for the video.
You're just
game.
like timing, bro.
It just feels weird to me that it was like, here we are trying to, like, hey, we're raising money because people have been hurt and killed and whatever, and it's like, oh, by the way, here's a serial killer.
Like, this may be bad timing, but we're doing the flaming ropes match.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right.
We'll throw some pineapples in there so people know it's for Hawaii.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, all right.
What if it was a pineapple up the keister match, and that's how you have to win, because you have to shove a pineapple up the other guy's keister.
What if can you imagine like you couldn't win just because it didn't fit, and then he gets a hold of you and it does fit? I mean, how embarrassed would you be in that scenario?
You must have been doing kegels. Oh God.
Yeah, you go to start putting it in there, and he just clenches his butt cheeks and
clench
just
defense.
He just smashes the pineapple with his buttocks. Like, oh my, who is this monster?
So,
and by him, I mean Leatherface, of
course, yeah,
because he's out in wrestling trunks.
We all know Leatherface has cheeks for days.
Yeah. Right. Well, literally.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like in his wardrobe.
Yeah. Just hanging in his closet.
Exactly.
Oh man, I don't know. It was I'm glad they raised a bunch of money with it, but it was not a good match. It was so bad, and yeah, I don't know, because it's like both guys. There was like by the end of it, I think like 4 or 6 people for each guy came out to help interfere and all that. It was like, what is going on here? This is just a clusterfuck, So yeah. Anyway. Now, what they really should have done was had, some military-based character come out and kick Leatherface's ass.
Guile from Street Fighter.
Right. And then everybody, USA, USA.
Exactly. Have the fucking Eagles of War come out.
Yeah, So if that was WWE, Sergeant Slaughter would have came out, or Hacksaw Jim Duggan would have came out and kicked his ass, or Hogan.
Exactly.
Probably not Hogan, He only represents a certain kind of American.
Yeah, But the people he represents sure do love this country.
That's true. That's true. Oof.
Oh, Hulkster.
Yeah. Just turned 70.
Oh, my God. That's insane.
Yep.
Wow.
Just had his 70th birthday last week, I think.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Hulkamania. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's running wild anymore. It's probably shuffling wild.
Exactly.
But, I guess that could have, and that's in no way me making fun of how he walked for a while there either. That was not.
I mean, it would be a great call though.
Yeah, that was just awful because of botched back surgeries. He couldn't really walk. That was ridiculous.
Should have got some Heelys. Big yellow boots.
Imagine Healy hitting it. I mean, there's a guy that skateboards down the ramp to the ring, so why not hit the Heelys?
Hit the Heelys. Heely right into a big boot. Oh my God.
Actually, the Heelys could be kind of a cool thing if you could make sure you could control them, that they wouldn't accidentally pop out at the wrong time and maybe cause you to break your neck. Like in the ring, you could do some cool shit, probably like Healy from one side to the other for the, a stinger splash in the corner or something. Yeah.
Why not?
That could be kind of fun. But also probably very dangerous, because if that comes out at the wrong time,
Could be a bad guy named a Heel E.
Oh, wow, that feels like an 80s.
Oh boy, does it.
WWE gimmick. Yep. It's Ted Healy.
Just comes down gliding on his heels.
Mullet or rat tail.
Absolutely
flipping around
a greasy rat tail.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man, that'd be good fun.
That would be something, all right.
Good fun. I just said good.
Yeah, my bad.
Jeez.
My bad. You right.
Jeez.
You right.
Come on. Anyway, yeah. My week's been watching a death match, watching Weather Channel. So that's pretty
Weather
much.
Channel death
Oh,
match.
I did watch.
Want to see that?
I watched the 6-part American Gladiators.
Oh, that's fun, isn't it?
I powered through that, dude. That you were right about that. Like that took me right back to being a kid, until it gets to the sadder parts of it, like how they were making no money off all that merch.
It's
and all
insane,
that kind of
isn't it?
Like, oh my God. Well, the best part of the whole thing is every time they go to the dude who worked for who's the executive guy, and he was like, it was never the cash cow people think that it was.
Okay.
It was very expensive to produce and all this. And I'm like, dude, you guys went on a 120 city tour. You ain't doing that unless you're making a shit ton of money. WWE doesn't do house shows for funsies. They're doing it because it makes bank.
Somebody made a ton of money there.
Yeah, and once you figure out the setup of everything, it's quick and easy from that point type of a thing. But it was like, but also it's like that show was on top for years, for a few years. And like they were saying, it's like you went into Toys R Us, they had a massive display
Oh yeah.
of American Gladiators toys, and that shit was selling like
Yeah.
hotcakes. I never had any of it.
Everyone loved the Gladiators, man.
Yeah, but my nephew had a bunch of the figures. He had the Joust play set. I think he had one of the not the Joust stick. What else was it that they made? There was some other anyway, but he had various merch. He went and saw them when they were live and came through. He got posters and a program, and I don't remember what else he got from the event. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, bullshit that wasn't making money.
Yeah, I guarantee if American Gladiators was still a thing, Nerf would have a full line of Assault and Conquer, or whatever the fuck that game was called.
Breakthrough.
That's
and Conquer.
it. No,
that was Breakthrough and Conquer was
the football, the wrestling. I think
it
was just called Assault.
Yeah. Oh God, Assault. I
always wanted to play
really
Assault. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I enjoyed them talking about, hearing the Gladiators talk about the different stuff. But I'll tell you what, man, the one thing you really get from watching a lot of it is if you've watched any videos like Dark Side of the Ring or all this stuff about like the wrestlers post career, where they're all banged up and all this, and you hear the Gladiators talking, and I'm like, dude, that sounds like WWE.
Oh yeah, they got fucked up.
Like, tons, like I didn't realize like when they recorded that they did like 4 shows. Like if when they were doing the Human Cannonball or Cannonball, whatever they just called it, that it was you get up there and you do 4 shows worth of Cannonball.
Yeah,
it wasn't just like a one thing and then you move to the next.
You get your ass kicked multiple times in a row.
Yeah, or Joust or any of it. Like I forgot the one woman she was talking about on Joust. She goes, the first couple people I'd kick their ass. And she goes, but after that, they're coming in fresh and I'm on my 3rd or 4th contestant. And she's like, it becomes 50-50 and then, like 70-30. Like I'm probably going to lose because I got nothing left, I was like, Jesus, yeah. So, and they never got, unfortunately for the Gladiators, they signed those in perpetuity contracts, which means that basically it's this contract forever, which, oh boy, bad contracts.
What about that guy that was like the dirtiest contestant ever? He ended up going to like a Mexican prison and shit.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, he was the best character. The whole time I'm like, this guy's a fucking heel waiting to happen. He should have went into wrestling. Like he's got 80s wrestling heel written all over.
That shit was great.
Oh my God! I loved like when they showed the clips from the show. He on the Cannonball thing. For anyone who doesn't know, Cannonball was literally somebody on a rope. They swing. The Gladiator has like a big pad that they hold, and they're on a pedestal. And basically, the concept was if you can knock them off the pedestal, you get whatever points. Yeah. And actually, wasn't it if you could knock any part of their body out, you got a point or something? And if you knocked them off, you got more points.
Yeah, I think if you made them like leave something the like circle, maybe.
Yeah. It was like a point or something, and then 5 points if you knocked him off, or it was something like that. Anyway, this dude comes in, and he gets low, and then as he comes in, he throws his forearm and shoulder out toward them to kind of come up under their chin, which is against the rules. And then when they kind of tag him for it, he was like, oh, I absolutely didn't mean to do that. And then he fucking does it again on the next swing. And he's like, well, that was never my intention. And then they cut to him, and he's like, oh, yeah, I lied. I did that on purpose.
Like, oh, for sure.
That guy was fucking great. Oh, man. I don't remember him from the show, though.
Neither do I. Like, he was talking about when he was auditioning for it. And then the guy was like, if you hit that guy and make him bleed, you're on the show. And he just, like, elbowed him in the face, basically. And split him open.
Yeah. Well, and like the guy said, he's trying to feed his family. And so he was trying to get on TV to get a paycheck. So, it was really interesting, though. Like I said, it has such a pro wrestling vibe to it, even with steroids. I mean, it had its own steroid thing, and man, how they got around the steroids was creative. That felt like a Vince McMahon move for sure. Right. Like bring everyone in, warn them you're going to be testing soon, and then test them. Yeah. Like, 6 months later so they could get clean, basically. Yes. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, it was a wild ride. I enjoyed that doc.
It really was. I have to watch the 30 for 31 now, because I'm curious if there's anything different in any of that. I also appreciated how forthcoming a lot of the gladiators were. Like, it wasn't like a thing where they only could get one or two of them. They had almost
Oh yeah,
everybody.
for sure.
You know, there were only a few, like what's his name, or not Gemini, Titan wasn't on there, and there was a couple others, but most of the big, especially the big name ones, were almost all on there. So I was, really, really surprised by that, because a lot of times that realistically probably tells you how shitty the pay package was.
Oh, for sure.
Because if they had made crazy bank and blah blah blah, there's a good chance that a lot of them would be like, I really don't want to shit on it, because what if there's a reunion or like that kind of thing. And they all were just very honest about some of the real awful shit that went on.
Yeah, it was kind of refreshing, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was a fun ride, though.
Good stuff.
Very nostalgic, man. Took me,
dude. I'm
really
telling you,
took me back.
I'm telling you. I know. I was feeling it too.
Yeah. It's like remembering how crazy I was every week, man. Whatever time it was on, I was like, "Yo, Gladiators!" About like you had to watch it, because again, we didn't have streaming or on demand, so if you missed it, unless you recorded it on a videotape, that was it. There was no replay of it or anything.
If you missed it, you missed it.
I mean, until they went into reruns, then maybe you could catch one you didn't see, but that was about it. So, and it was really, I think one of the most interesting parts too was when they figured out the contestant thing, when they really snapped into the Vince McMahon concept, which is if you have a big man and you want the big man to look like just a monster, you put small guys against him. Like if you want Andre the Giant or Big Show to look like an absolute massive, I mean, they're already massive, but when you put a guy who's, if you put him against Undertaker, he doesn't look massive, right? When you put him against Rey Mysterio, he looks like he's a building.
Yeah. Or children.
Right. Or children. Yeah. Wait. But same with the Gladiators. When you put them against people that are similar size, they don't look impressive.
Yeah.
Also, they lose more.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, theoretically, they would have lost more, but it seemed like actually maybe they lost more when they started putting squirrely people against them.
But that agility.
Yeah, the quickness and everything, whereas the others had to move all that bulk around.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, good shit, though.
Oh, indeed.
Good on Netflix because I was waiting for something to where they was going to be real heavy-handed about, one way or the other about things, and it really wasn't. And even the steroids, I felt like they addressed the steroids thing pretty well with it. I don't feel like when they first mentioned it, it was like another full episode before they really dug into it. And I'm like, wow, is that all they're going to talk about, the steroids on this show? And then they really dig into it. I was like, oh, here we go.
Like, oh no, we're going to circle back. You don't worry about that.
And I felt like in most of the Gladiators were pretty forthcoming about their use of stuff too, except for that one woman where she was like, I never use, and it was like, and then she's like, well, I use human growth hormone, and I'm like, okay,
like, that's different, is it?
Yeah.
Come on, Zap.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like it's kind of not, but I understand if this was in a court situation, then it is absolutely different because it's not steroid, even though it's basically a steroid.
Well be.
Yeah. And she also pulled the old I don't want to get caught in baseball excuse, which was I did it to heal, versus I did it to get big or stay big. And it's like, okay. Like, sure you did.
Like, all right, lady.
You might have, but probably not. So, but whatever. That's,
Still fun.
Still fun.
Still fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Excuse me.
Good. Especially for those of us that were big fans of it back in the day. And pretty much everybody was.
Dude,
it was so funny they kept showing all the news programs and stuff where they were like, oh, this is like the lowest common denominator of blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it really isn't, though. It was really not that different than what the NFL is doing to people.
I mean, remember when UFC first came out? It was the same shit.
Yep.
Oh, it's human cockfighting. It's this, it's that. And now it's one of the top sports in the world. So it's like,
one of the things looking back that was really amazing in a lot of the videos they showed is how many of the events the Gladiators do not have any head protection.
Dude, it was the 90s. No one gave a fuck about concussions.
No, the contestants did, because, if Gemini got a hold of you, he's going to just throw you into the ground as hard as he can. But it was interesting that none of the gladiators, and I'll bet it was like you said, it was either because they wanted to protect those luxurious mullets most of the time, or that. Now in some of the events they did,
Yeah.
but there were quite a few of the events like Breakthrough and Conquer.
No,
They didn't really wear
no, of
head
course not.
protection.
Dude,
Yeah.
look like
Or
if
power.
I go out on my it's a little dark now. If I went out on my front porch a couple hours ago, every kid in the neighborhood's riding around on a bike. Most of them have helmets on.
Yeah.
When we were kids, if you put a
Nothing.
helmet on, you were that kid.
Yeah.
You know? Same deal,
Yep.
man. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know it was just amazing. Like I said, I know part of it was so that it continues to make them look
Yeah,
tough.
I was like, plus they're supposed to be like
Probably.
superheroes.
Exactly, right?
You can't
so
hurt the
it's like, I get
gladiators
it.
until they get hurt.
Yeah. Except that, I was gonna say, except that there's all those, they show various times where they caught, inadvertent elbows or headbutts or whatever, and got fucked up.
That shit happens, mate.
Yeah. Anyway, so how about you? How's your week been?
It's been weird, but I'll take it. I'm
right.
coming off a 4-day weekend because I got called off of work today, which was very bizarre.
That's
I know,
weird.
right? I got that text over the weekend. I'm like, really? Huh, okay. But I'll take it. I'm only working 2 days this week, Brian.
That's good and bad.
Yeah, well, because, Thursday I'm off to prep for my medical procedure.
Oh, right. Well, at least you're off Thursday, so at least you're off the hottest fucking day of the week.
Yeah,
you're not
my
working
guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like this week sucks because I have to change everything I like to eat. I'm not allowed to eat until Friday,
right.
which is just really sucks. I can't even use like black pepper.
Oh, really?
I think it's like stuff that can get all up in your guts. They don't want in there.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, you're on celery soup diet.
I mean, it feels like it. It's weird when you look at it because like all this like healthy like whole grain this and rice and nah, but you can eat that processed bread. It's so weird. But whatever, it is what it is. I can't wait till it's over. The thing that really sucks is like the thing that's been a lifesaver for me. This is some serious old man talk right now. It's going to happen. Is a big old glass of fiber in the morning.
Right.
Keeps everything running like clockwork.
Right.
Well, not allowed to have that either. So this is going to be a miserable week. Like I'm like right now, I'm all achy and in pain, and it's like this is going to suck.
Wow.
I know, but whatever. Enough about that. I finally went to the eye doctor on Friday. It's been since before COVID.
Did they tell you had pretty eyes?
Yes, definitely. And I'll tell you,
your eyes forever.
my eye doctor that I've been going to for a while, and I love to death, doesn't take my insurance. Of course.
Yep.
Because that's America for you.
I gotta go up to Monroe to find a place that takes my insurance.
Sucks, doesn't it?
There's no place in Toledo. The last time I checked, there's no place in Toledo. Or even there's at least one eye doctor like right up the street from me. They don't take it either.
So I looked at my providers, and one of them is, which I didn't even know existed, Target Optical.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know Target. I know Walmart had optical departments, but I didn't know that Target did.
So I looked, and they had a special deal at the time to save me some money, which was still way too much money because
glasses are stupid
expensive.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I ended up going to Target Optical for my new eye doctor, and this woman working there, Brian, like I walk in and a lady's like, "Oh, hey," I'm like, "I got an appointment." She's like, "Okay, fill out this paperwork. Let me know when you're done." I'm like, "All right." And as I'm done, I'm handing it to this other lady because the lady that talked to me like was leaving to go home. And she's like, "Oh, okay, well, thanks. I'll just sit down and we'll get you in." I'm like, "All right." I sit down, and as I'm sitting down, this fucking old man walks in with a shopping cart, and he's got his cane in the cart. It's got the 4 prongs on the bottom.
Nice.
And he just starts. He's like, "I gotta get my glasses fixed, and I think you had to make an appointment or something."
Sure.
She's like, "Oh, okay." And this, like, I'm not trying to shit on this lady, but I'm gonna because she pissed me off. This lady looked like a pile of snack packs shoved into like stretch pants.
Ooh,
you know.
nice, delicious. Yeah,
And like Michelle and I are sitting there, like I already picked out my frames because I want to, I want to be done. And I'm
yeah.
just waiting for the doctor, and he's behind me, and he's just like, "Oh, hey, how's it going today, beautiful? How you doing?" And he's probably like 80, and
Yeah.
she's, "Oh, I'm okay." He's like,
Right then, you should have left because clearly his eyesight's
"Oh
fucked.
my god, for sure." He kept
No.
like calling her sweetheart, and like classic old man shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super
yeah,
unprofessional,
and he's
but
like,
yeah.
"Oh man, when I was young, I had 9 different girlfriends." He started listing where they all lived, and
He's like index finger, middle finger.
but dude, this went on forever, right?
Oh,
And I'm just
geez.
still sitting there. I'm just thinking
Like, can we get on
like
with
yeah, I'm
it?
just staring at where
Yeah.
the exam room is, going like, surely he's done with this person.
He wasn't, and don't call him Shirley.
Right. Well,
Right.
she comes over to me. This is where it got me, because finally the old guy fucking left. And she
Mhm.
comes over, and then she like goes back into the exam room, and then comes up to me, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't get your paperwork into the doctor. I thought that the other lady did that." And I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, "Well, we got another appointment coming in soon, so um, you can go back to the doctor, but I might have to interrupt your appointment, and then you're gonna have to finish it afterwards." And I went, "Yeah, I don't have that kind of time."
Also, your appointment was
Yeah,
first.
I
They can
looked at
wait.
my watch, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have time to do that." She's like,
Like, was the president coming in? I
"Oh,
mean, you know what I mean? It's like,
I'm so sorry." So I didn't get interrupted because I would have been livid if she would have walked in.
well,
You
yeah,
know?
and rightfully
Yeah,
so, because that's stupid.
yeah. And then as I'm
Because
trying to
we
like,
all have times where you have to wait forever at the doctor's office. You go in, and whoever's next has got to wait
right.
because everyone gets
Yeah, it's
pushed
like, it's
back.
not my problem. You fucked up. You know?
Right. Seriously.
So yeah, the
That's
doctor was cool. He was good. But this woman, if I never see her again, I'll be happy. Because then, afterwards I got to deal with her face to face with the frames, and it's like, all I want to do is leave now because I'm just so annoyed. You
right.
know?
Yep.
And not to mention, like, I was like, man, I forgot how expensive glasses are.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I actually cost me less to get glasses off of Zenny, like sunglasses and stuff, way less. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
should just do this every time. I should just learn my lesson, get my eyes examined, and be like, give me that prescription, and then just go order glasses offline. Because these are Zenny glasses. I've had them for years, and they're fine.
Like I told you, it's amazing because my insurance will pay for lenses and frames. As long as I pick from the like basically used rack. But um, there's a very small section that I can pick from basically,
Right.
and those frames are free. Well, I don't have to pay for them, but like all my insurance pays for is the lenses. If I want any of the coatings or whatever, that's all out of pocket for me. And it sucks because that shit's not cheap.
No, that's what got
like,
me.
Yeah, I wish I could find a place that covered that, but like I said, that's the only place around that I can go to. So, I need to check again. It has been a couple years. You never know; things could have changed, but probably not.
Yeah, I like my insurance covers a chunk of the frames, and that's basically about it. And then anything you go over, they'll take 20% off of it. They'll cover 20%, but it's like still,
it helps a little.
I was out of pocket, and they're like, oh god, yeah, god, my wallet's been bleeding all weekend, basically.
Seriously. I think even with my insurance, where they typically cover everything, I think these glasses I'm wearing, I think we're still like 120 or 150 out of pocket.
Yeah,
which is insane, and that's only because I wanted the lenses that don't break as easy, and I wanted the anti-glare. And,
yeah, I got the polycarbonate, I got the anti-glare.
Yep, exactly. Those my insurance doesn't. Those are it's like whoa, that's too fancy.
Like I was looking at my frames because I picked out some fucking Ray-Bans, Brian. Yeah, and because they're the only ones that look good on my face. And Target's men's section is absurdly small.
Of course it is. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I looked at how much the frames were, and I'm like, well, after insurance, I'm gonna pay like $40 for these frames. That's not bad.
That's okay.
But I wasn't thinking about the lenses. And then she's like, oh, well, we'll get you. I'm like, I want the polycarbonate, I want the anti-glare. She's like, oh, okay. And, racks up this outrageous bill. And then she's like, well, Ray-Ban has like specialty lenses. You want me to see how much those are? I'm sure. It like doubled the price. I'm like, nah, we're good. Like,
do they like wipe your asshole
I
or
don't
something
know.
like that?
I'm like, I don't need those. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll probably go see that
Actually,
doctor again, but I don't think I'll ever get glasses because every frame they had, the lowest price I found was the ones I picked out. They're like $150 for frames.
Oh,
Everything else was higher.
Wow. Yeah, because most places that you go to have got some like budget frames that are like $70 or
like
something.
Steve's Frame Shop or something.
Yeah, that's usually the section I can pick.
Yeah,
from.
and like I don't care about what's on my glass. I don't care if it says Gucci. I don't give a shit. You know?
I've only ever had one pair that were like a designer. I had a pair of Guess ones a long time ago.
Right.
And that was only because it was the only frames that they had that basically were wide enough for my face.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's how I ended up with, and my insurance at the time covered them completely. Right. So, because I would have never paid whatever. They were probably $300 frames.
Yeah,
I never would pay that.
I'm just gonna just do my. I mean, the only thing that sucks is my insurance doesn't pay anything towards any.
Yeah, that does suck. But if you can still come out cheaper, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Because I mean, not only did I get sunglasses, I got like some like tinted, like lightly tinted ones for like nighttime shit.
Yep.
And 2 pairs of glasses for my prescription were still cheaper than my lenses.
Wow.
And they're prescription fucking glasses.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Anywho, so that sucked. And also Friday, I did a lot of shit on Friday. I don't know if you're aware when you come over, our kitchen faucet is the worst thing ever created in the history of man. Like you open it up full blast, and it's like a little trickle. It's got like a little captain's wheel for the faucet. The thing sucks.
Yeah, it does great pressure.
It's horrible. Yeah. And I'm like, and I know all it is the lines are clogged in the actual faucet.
That's what I was going to say. Is like you have an old house.
Yes.
There's a really good chance you just need to replace the pipe.
Yeah.
So because we at that house I used to live in on Daytona, my uncle did that in our basement because you remember our water pressure was garbage there. Like if you turn the kitchen water on, you couldn't take a shower basically.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So and when he replaced the pipe, he also put a little bigger pipe in. But when he replaced the pipe, oh my God! And we had steam heat in that place because we had those radiators.
Right.
So once he did that, it was like, we had to be real careful with the heat because it works so well.
Yeah, crazy what a little water pressure will do, huh?
Yeah, no, it was. He just needed to switch a few pipes. That's all it was. Because they were all just calcified, basically.
I was running to the store and I had to go to Menards for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like
industrial sized butt wipes. Yeah.
And I was just like earlier that morning, I was waiting 10 minutes to fill my coffee pot or whatever. And I'm like, I just can't fucking do this. So I looked at the kitchen faucets and they had one on sale that actually like fits the look of our kitchen. So I'm like, fuck it. And I just bought it. And I swapped it out. Right.
Yeah.
My dumb ass, because I have swapped out a kitchen faucet before, but it's been a while, is I didn't buy the little lines that you connect to your, because I'm like, oh, it's going to come with everything. Why would it?
Yeah.
Why would it?
Why would it? Right.
So I go to hook it up. I'm like, well, fuck it. I'll use the old lines because I looked through them and they were clear. They were like the actual lines that go into the faucet looked like, like it had like Widowmaker heart attack action going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Well, so I'm like, I'm going to reuse these lines, but the one just leaked like crazy. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to run to Home Depot. I'm just going to get new ones. And I'm in the plumbing aisle and I'm looking, I see the lines. I'm looking at the different lengths, trying to figure out what I need. And then from just, this woman was so sneaky. From just behind me, I just hear this like old black woman voice. And she just goes, toilet. And it like scared me because I didn't know she was there. Because, the way the lines are hung up, it's like, like faucets, toilets. So she must have been
Right.
looking for a replacement line too. But it sounded
Yeah.
like she was right in my ear, just toilet.
She
Dude, it
was.
fucked me
She was
up.
all. She was on your back like Yoda on Luke.
It was so weird.
Toilet.
Oh, and also, I can't believe I forgot about this. On my way to the Menards that morning, I had to go get gas. That's not important. But I'm getting in my car. I pull out of the gas station. I'm sitting at the light, and I hear all this like yelling. It's fucking 9:30 in the morning. And I'm like, what? So I turned down my music. My windows are down because it's a nice, cool morning. Right. And I look across the intersection. There's a dude sitting on a Harley, and he's just like flapping his jaw at someone. And the dude on the sidewalk, because then I really turned down my radio, so I'm like, I got to hear this. He's just like, oh, hey, man, that's a great motorcycle. I can't wait till I get a Harley. Woo! He's like dancing and shit on the sidewalk.
Wow.
At like I said, like 9:30 in the morning.
Like, buddy, you're gonna need to take it down a notch. Like, I'm glad you got your score this early.
What is happening right now? He was so fired up about that guy's motorcycle. I know. Jeez. It was lovely.
All right. I mean, yeah. Next thing you know, he runs over and takes the guy's motorcycle.
GTA style. That'd be amazing. Yeah. It was weird.
Like, what the hell? Wow.
I'm trying to I'm looking at our time here. We're already at an hour. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Went to the beach over the weekend. That was cool as fuck. Beach day on Sunday.
Nice.
Went to Cheese Haven. That was awesome.
Any sharks?
No sharks. A lot of weirdos.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beach. Of course there was.
This fucking guy, he was just walking around in cargo pants. He had his belt on. Big, fat, old guy. No shirt. And I guarantee, I think he was just walking up and down the beach looking at the women because he had these big sunglasses on. But he just walked around. I'll use my phone as a prop. And he's just like he's got his Bluetooth speaker. And he's just like jamming to like 80s music as he's walking up and down the beach. And he would walk all the way up and then he'd come back and then he'd go back.
Oh, so he was peacocking is what he was doing.
Dude,
he was showing
shit was hilarious
off.
to me.
Yeah.
Like you'd hear like Whitney Houston in the distance, like, oh, here he comes. Shit was great, man.
Dude, you've made 4 passes.
Yeah,
Nobody
exactly.
Wants you.
Go away. Go away. Yes, we're all looking at that girl out there with the thong. We all see it.
Yeah.
Go away.
He's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea behind my mirrored sunglasses.
Right. I wasn't looking at anything.
Yeah. But I spent my day today making seltzer. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's I got my fermenter over here. I've been staring at the bubbler on top. I'm waiting for action to happen. It's always the worst part because I bought this kit a little while ago. And I'm like, is the yeast good? Did I fuck it up? I hate this. Yeah. I hate this part, waiting for shit to happen.
Yeah. I heard there's a song about waiting.
Waiting to exhale?
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll give you updates as they come. Be like 2 weeks.
Nice.
Before it's drinkable. Well, a little longer than that. 2 weeks before I can keg it. Because that's what I'm doing, buddy. Right. I'm kegging it. Yeah.
Nice.
So I got all the equipment. I've been cleaning up everything. I got to buy some CO2. I got to drink some beer to clear out some shelving where the keg's going to go in the fridge. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, you've got time. Well, wait, you can't this week.
I mean, I've got beer right here, bro.
I didn't know if your diet.
I'm good until the last day. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's right. I got a delicious zombie dust and one on deck. Let's roll with this.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's been a while since I brewed, man. It was fun. And I actually have another kit. Like, I think it's a brown ale kit maybe or something. I think in like 2 weeks I might brew that one up too. So I'll have 2 of them going at the same time.
Nice. The old brown eye ale. Yep.
Exactly. I've been like, I'm in the mood again. I'm in the mood to like homebrew, right? So I've been watching some videos online to kind of remind me of what to do. But this channel I stumbled across, I'm watching it and I'm just like, this is what I need to do with all the beers right here. Except and I didn't think about it until I was already done making the batch. Because this would be, I'm like, this would be perfect. Be learning how to, perfect this thing that I want. Because my goal is to not have to buy beer. Honestly,
right?
Because it's way cheaper to make it yourself, like everything.
Right. Yeah, and also, I mean, the content of it is learn to make seltzer with me, kind of thing, or make
exactly,
beer with me,
right?
So, like, I'm no expert. I don't, but
yeah,
let's see what happens.
So I fucked up. I should have documented more of it, but I was just in the zone.
Way to go.
But yeah, so hopefully, not hopefully, there's gonna be more brewing happening. Hopefully, it turns out okay.
That's the key. Yeah, that's always the key because sometimes shit happens and not so much.
I mean, I have no excuse because I have tons of equipment.
Right? Yeah, you definitely do. You definitely have the
got
equipment.
the gear to do it. I mean, I've been doing a lot of cleaning this weekend because that stuff I got from that Steve and I went in on, it's all so filthy. It must have been just sitting in this guy's garage. So I've been doing a lot of cleaning this weekend. Like, actually, I got keg parts in a bucket of OxyClean water right now, soaking to get all this shit off of them.
Right.
Oh my god, it's been a nightmare.
Well, then you can drink the stuff out, afterward.
Delicious. Too. Well, it's one of those things. I watched a video how to clean the kegs, and I'm like, oh, cool, but I couldn't get the little posts off and stuff. And I finally got them off today, and as soon as I took them off, it was all full of sticky shit. I'm like, everything I cleaned, it was basically for nothing. Because as soon as you start running beer through those lines, it's just going to be dirty, Yeah. So I'm like, that's the one thing I've definitely learned about doing this thing is clean is where it's at.
Yeah.
I can't believe how filthy all that guy's shit was.
Yeah, like you said, it probably was used and then not cleaned and then
sat.
Oh
yeah. I mean, one of the first keg I popped open to clean, it still had a little bit of beer in it. Yeah, it was pretty vile.
I was going to say, I bet that smelled amazing.
Good stuff.
I was listening to a podcast the other night, and the guy was talking about how his grandfather owned a junkyard, and how one of the jobs he had there was when people brought in cans, he had to take the cans from them, and he's like, it smelled like week old booze and all that. I'm like, oh god, it took me back to when we used to go recycle cans and all that smell of the.
I remember. Us recycling them, and I remember crushing cans for Perry. Oh god, fucking vile.
Just that smell, especially. I mean, and those weren't even mostly. Well, with Perry, there was some booze in there, but the ones we had were just pop cans. But going to that recycle place, it just had that stink of all of it. Oh, and they clearly never hosed the area out.
Can you imagine working there?
Yeah, that's what this guy was talking about on the podcast, was how he's like, how awful of a job that is, because he's like, you have to smell that.
I would assume you would get used to it.
I would hope so.
At some point.
Because if not, God, that'd be terrible if you never did.
That would fucking suck.
Because you can't wear a mask to prevent that, because it's a smell, not, it's not just something in the air.
I would assume at some point you'd get numb to it, nose-wise. Like you walk in the morning and you go, oh.
But by noon or 1 o'clock, you're just whatever.
It is what it is.
Well, because I remember every time we went over there, you and I were like, "Oh god,
oh, it's horrible, dude."
The guy working there was just like, "Yeah, load it up." He was never like, "Oh yeah, I know it's terrible, isn't it?"
It's like, "Hey, actually, this nose is fake. I lost mine in the Persian Gulf." Oh,
yeah,
that explains everything.
Yeah. Like, I can't really smell anything, but we got the perfect job for you.
I'll tell you what there, buddy.
Oh. Yeah, you go over here where it stinks real bad from between. It's like same as going into like Food Town up the road where you can recycle stuff there. It's like when you first walk in, you get punched with that scent, which is not great when you're heading into a grocery store.
The smartest thing they ever did at the Kroger up there is move the recycling to the other end of the building. And it's sectioned off in its own area.
Yeah, that's what they need up here, but unfortunately, small building, you can't really do. What they need is an entrance on the other side, and then wall that off is what they need to be able to do. That way you could keep the sun mostly in there and outside versus, right in that entryway. At least it doesn't seem to leach into the store. At least I've never noticed it. Maybe the
I'm
employees
sure the
do,
employees catch a whiff.
yeah, especially on hot
God.
days. Yeah.
I mean, I guess for me, the last thing I did this weekend was we, I think it was Saturday, we took Michelle's parents out because, all the help her dad did, everything he did for the
Yeah.
deck was above and beyond. So we're like, let us take you out to dinner, right? And
nice. Sizzler.
Well, we went out to the Black Forest Cafe, which is a German spot. It's out we're in Oakshade Grove where they do the German American Fest, which is this weekend.
Right. That's where I thought you were at first, and then I was like, oh wait, he's at that restaurant. Yeah. So I was like, wait, the Gaff isn't this weekend.
I do think we're going to the Gaff this weekend, though. After once I can start eating real food again. Probably on Sunday.
Reintroduce food to your body. Oh boy.
But God damn it, dude, German food's the best. It's so good.
Yeah, what you had looked really good. I don't know what it was, but
what I got is called the Jager Schnitzel. And it's your pork schnitzel pounded flat and thin, deep fried, breaded fried. And then it's served with a dark gravy made of onions, mushrooms, and bacon and red wine.
All right.
Oh, it's so good. And it's so
pretty
much.
Strong. Yeah.
The portions are ridiculous.
Well, sure.
So yeah, I take it you've never been out to the Black Forest Cafe. We might have to do that sometime. It's like I asked our waitress because I mean, we had to go in through a weird way because they're setting up for the German American Fest, and I remember like I didn't even know that place existed until my ex brother-in-law's brother was dating one of the waitresses, and they told us about it. I'm like, oh, so we went and checked it out.
Okay.
And during COVID, they were shut down during the winter, but they'd open up in the summer because they got the outdoor beer garden, right?
Yeah, right.
So I always assumed that they just shut down the winter. But so I asked her, I'm like, you guys open during the winter? She's like, oh, yeah. She's like, actually, today's our last day, and then we're closed for 2 weeks because of the German American Fest. So we actually got in perfect timing.
Which makes sense.
Because it's a lot. The German American Fest is huge around here.
Yeah, that's why I said that makes a lot of sense. I could see it. Yeah, it's like there's this diner up the road, like a little ways up the road that I've been to a couple times with my moms. I've told you about it. It's called Brenda's, and they were closed for the Monroe County
really?
Fair. And I was like, okay. I'm like, they must have a booth or a little food wagon or something up. Either that or they're just taking it off because they enjoy it. I don't know what, but they were closed for a good week or so because of that. And I felt bad for them because they reopened on like a Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, they had to shut down because their water was out. So it's like, you just come back after a vacation. People are like, let's get some of that roasted chicken. And they're like, oh, by the way,
I have a theory of why they closed for the fair. I bet you a lot of their employees are kids, and a lot of those kids are into like the 4-H and all that.
That's possible.
And they're like, hey, I got to get ready for the fair. I got like a show pig or something.
Yeah. Right. It's very possible. I don't know. Like I said, it's also possible because with that roasted chicken, maybe they've got a little truck and they just do chicken up there or something, or pies or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. But it was, I saw them on their Facebook page and they were like, we'll be closed for this week because of the Monroe County Fair. And I'm like, all right. I mean, Monroe's not that far, but it's like, that's not going to really affect your, thinking like customer wise, it's not going to affect you, But it was like, and like you said that, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they have a wagon or something up there, or like you just said, maybe they lose employees to it. That's possible. It's like Mancino's up the road, the pizza place. When it gets around prom season, they're closed basically when it's Bedford's prom because everybody who works there is a kid.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
All the kids are going to prom. You really have no employees, so they close on prom day, which sucks because that's a Saturday.
Oh, right.
It's got to suck for a pizza place to close on a Saturday. That's got to be a prime
figure it
day,
out, Michael Mancino.
I mean, the real key would be to, maybe employ a couple people that are not 16, but it's harder to find people in their 20s or whatever that want to work for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
It's like the ice cream places, they always have like high school kids working
Yeah,
there.
before it gets too cold, we should go out to the Black Forest and hang out in the beer garden. Dude, that was the day I
Yeah.
was telling you. Like, because before we left, I had a couple beers sitting out on my back patio just because I was bored. And then we went there and I whacked down like 3 Warsteiner Dunkels because I love that fucking Dunkel. It's so delicious. And they go down too easy. Yeah, no, I don't really put down that many beers anymore, but that day, that was a good day. But yeah, we should definitely head out there, get a little schnitzel and a couple fucking beers.
Yeah, I'm down for it. That schnitzel,
dude, it's so good.
Banging. I haven't had schnitzel in God knows how long. I had it somewhere years ago. I mean, probably like teenage years ago.
They got 3 different ones because they got the Jager, which I love. Michelle always gets the Hühner Schnitzel, which is chicken. And then they got the classic Wiener, the Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they got all the, like, bratwurst, and, it's all.
Yeah.
I remember we took the kids there, I think, last year, right when Leah was like, I'm going to become a vegetarian.
That makes sense. That's what
I wasn't thinking about it, We went to the Black Forest Cafe, and everything's just meat on meat. So Leah ended up getting the oversized pretzel which is an appetizer, just as the meal.
Right. Right. Like, can I just have some mashed potatoes?
Yeah, that was like we're looking at the menu, and Leah's just like, "Hey, Dad," I'm like, "Yeah." Can I just get the pretzel as my dinner? That's fine. Because they're like Leah's been staying with us. Actually, gonna be staying with us for a little while because I guess they're moving to the water's out. So Leah's like,
fun.
"Hey, can I stay with you for a while?" I'm like, "Of course, obviously."
No.
So I asked them like before we left, I'm like, "You want to come with us to the Black Forest Cafe?" Nah, I think I'm good. All right.
I am a little surprised they don't have like one vegetarian.
I mean, they do, but Leah.
Oh, right. Duh. Yeah. Never mind. I know why.
Leah's a picky vegetarian.
Vegetarian. I forgot about that. Yeah. Because I was gonna say, I'm sure they got something like
but
they can come up with. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But no, the place is great, and we go there maybe once a year, but yeah. Like in September, we should go when it's like nice and crisp. Yeah. Be a good day to sit. Be nice to sit outside. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Have some schnitzel and dunkels or whatever. I know they got a bunch of beers on tap. I love that fucking Dunkel. It's so good.
I just think you like
it
saying
is fun
Dunkel.
to say. Yeah, right. I like a nice dark malty beer, Brian. It's my jam.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's basically. Oh, I do have one thing I got to bring up, and I'm gonna have to share my screen with you because you got to see this.
Okay.
This was a targeted Facebook ad I had. Right. My favorite. Right. I love Target, or not. It was from Amazon. And it's called Gentle Giants. It's a dog food. I'm trying to figure out what happened to my Skype window. There it is. All right, hold on. Let me share my screen with you because I want to see a reaction to this as a graphic design guy. Here you go, Brian. Let me know what you think of this.
Oh my God, I've seen this bag.
You've seen it in real life?
Yeah, Walmart carries it. And I can tell you what my reaction was initially, which was, holy shit, I hope their graphic designer gets paid a lot of money because that is
There's so much going on here, isn't there?
There are multiple fonts. There's all sorts of pictures. It is a cluster
my
of
favorite
stuff.
Is it's Burt Ward.
Yeah. I was gonna say Burt Ward is the one in charge of it. I've seen commercials on TV for it now too.
I didn't realize all this.
Yeah, and they use they basically are using Disney's font.
There's like 8,000 different fonts on this.
Oh my God, so many. I know. It's just too much is what it is. It's got way too much going on.
Like I got targeted by the canned food, but the cans look exactly the same as this.
Do they? Okay, I
But
haven't seen the cans. I've only seen
the
the giant
dry
bag
food
of food.
bag has so much because it's got more real estate. It's got so much going on.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I'm so
That,
glad you've seen this before. Because, like, I was
yeah.
overwhelmed and I didn't think it was
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. I saw it at, like, I was walking through Walmart with my brother, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Because I first, like, it was near the dog food and stuff, but I'm like, what is that? Like, I couldn't quite discern what it was because where is your eye supposed to, like, my eye instantly goes to the gentle
Yeah,
giant's
because it's the
mane,
biggest.
right?
Yeah.
The biggest, right? But from there's no rest for your
Oh,
eye, which is generally bad design.
it's
right?
insane.
You want a person's eye to move around on a thing, but you need rest points because otherwise it can fatigue your eyes essentially. And it's like, I'm looking at this thing and I'm just like, there is no rest point. It's like staring at like a neon color for a while. It's just so much that it's
Like,
just
it's got
overload.
so many words and pictures, and there's bacon. Apparently, this dog is 27 and a half years old. I don't believe that.
Yeah, well, I can't lie.
Like, these dogs are
lies.
hugging because they're old and still alive.
Right. It's got a picture of Burt Ward
It
as Robin on
certainly
it.
does. I'm sure he loves that.
But oh my
It's
god,
just
there's
got
just
so much happening.
Yeah, I'll find a thing for it for the show notes.
He's in space down here, and he looks like he's surfing on bacon.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. Wow.
Oh, and he's got a picture of his Hollywood Walk of Fame star too.
Sure.
We can all be
important,
superheroes when we do whatever we can to help each other, animals, and the world. Thank you, Burt Ward.
Yeah.
This bag is fucking lunacy, bro.
It is way too much. Yeah. This is something that for sure needs somebody who knows how to edit their work.
There's a dog here that just says, I'm 24 years old and I eat gentle giants. Is that
wow? The real question I have is, did a graphic designer do this for them, or did they just
put
do
it on
themselves?
Fiverr?
Yeah, like, hey, can someone put all of these things together? And then someone will be like, okay, well, this is a lot of stuff. And they're like, yeah, but somehow you have to fit it all into the
You see this?
bag.
Holy super feast. Of course they're doing
geez.
that.
Oh, Bert.
Yeah, so I'm so glad
sleep.
you've seen this, Brian.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
a
God,
nightmare.
It is.
But we'll say this. You 100% can pick it out when you're walking through the aisle of dog food. It stands
is an
out.
attention getter.
It for sure does that.
Yeah, it is.
So there is something to that at least, but there's just the other problem I have is there's so much information all around this bag that it's too much.
Insane.
Really, like, it needs to almost be like a few blurbs and then like to read more testimonials and blah blah blah, go to gentlegiantsdogfood.com or whatever their website is.
I never thought to look at the reviews.
Like that. That's more of how you would generally design something like that, is give a little taste of the info and then have a QR code or something where you can go look at more info. And I believe it does have a QR code on the bag. God knows what else they could have on the website that's not on that bag.
I didn't go to. I wonder if their website is as busy.
I'm looking right now.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be fucking insane.
Right? It has to be.
Wait, maybe not.
Well, all right. GentleGiantsDogFood.com. That's what it was. Wow, he was right about that.
Holy shit. Well, first off, Burt Ward looks like he lives in a house of dogs.
Wow, yeah, he does. Jesus, there's
like
how
90
much
peanut butter they go through?
A lot, man.
Holy availability, Batman. Come on, Burt Ward.
Wow, he was on Ellen. Oh my goodness. Listen, the dog food itself might be great. I have no idea. Oh, they have cat food too. And the cat food bag's every bit as bad. Jesus Christ.
All right. This guy, Tim Olson, his dog's name is Big Rig, and that's a great dog name.
It's a good name for a dog, yeah. Although, I'm not going to lie.
Part fucking dog's dressed up as Robin.
Like
you gotta scroll to the bottom.
Okay. I was like,
there's a dog in a Robin costume.
Still not seeing it. How
I
far
don't
down
know.
do I gotta go?
Underneath Big Rig, my guy.
I haven't seen
What?
Big Rig
You're
yet,
on their
so I don't
website,
even
right?
know.
Oh man.
Yeah. There's so much on the website,
You got to go
though.
past Ellen, past Big Rig, and then
I'm way at the bottom now.
Oh,
I'm all
you
the
went
way
too
at the
far, my
bottom,
guy.
so all right, hold on. I thought you got to super back or skip back to the top. Oh, there it is.
It's fucking great.
Why doesn't the cat have a Robin costume on? That's
because he
bullshit.
doesn't like cats, I guess. Oh god,
Yeah.
I thought for sure this website was going to be Looney Tunes, like the bag.
I mean, it's got a lot on it.
Yeah, I
though.
keep scrolling.
I mean, especially as you scroll down, it starts getting more and more.
Yeah,
it
does have a lot going on. I'm still scrolling.
But you know, the difference though is the website's going to be probably using a template. You know, so it's going to be like put this in this square, this in this square, kind of thing. Whereas the bag is clearly just I don't know. Like I said, I would love to find out who the graphic designer is for this and have a talk with them about it. Especially if they're no longer under contract, it'd be even better.
Facebook and social media. They have an Instagram. We're going. Let's see here. Right. Oh, sorry, this page isn't available. Oh man.
Oh, probably got banned for nudity.
Probably.
Yeah. You know how it goes.
Wow. Okay, yeah, their website does have a lot going on. Oh.
Yeah. It's not as bad though. Is like I said, because a lot of the website templates are very much like
don't go to a social media link. There's a that's a little much. Okay. Wow.
So, yeah. Good shit though. I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about this stuff.
I'm so happy that you knew that existed.
Every time I see the commercial too, that's all I can do is stare at this bag and be like, God, there's so much going on in this bag.
I was scrolling through whatever social media I was on, and I was just like, I thought it was a joke, you know, because it looks like one of those products that people like mock up and like, oh, look what I found. Do
you know what it reminds me of? Is like in Mad Magazine, a lot of times there would be here's your like cartoon, and they would have little jokes all over, even in the panels and the margins and stuff. And basically the page would get, you know, sometimes really full of jokes and comments and all this. That's what this is every time they think of something, I think they cram it onto the bag. And I don't think they take something off when they do it, you know, because if you look, there's a lot of Robin references on this bag. Whether it's the Bam Pow whatevers or pictures of him as Robin or what, there's a lot of Cape Crusader, you know, there's all these references. And realistically, what I'm very curious of is if he owns any of the rights to use Robin on this. Because even though he played Robin, he doesn't own the character of Robin. DC Comics does. So I'm very curious if they do that, or, you know, maybe DC doesn't really care because it's
there's like whatever.
Big a deal. And he's not calling it like Robin dog food or
like
something like
Gotham City's best or something.
Yeah. But it is interesting that, you know, they do use a lot of pictures of him as Robin, which I don't know how the law reads on that.
Maybe he can use his likeness, and that's what he's, you know.
That's what I was thinking.
Or like you said, maybe DC's just like, whatever. He's like 99. Just let him.
And he's selling dog food. That's not
let him do
market.
His thing.
We're not selling dog food.
Yeah, who cares?
So, but there is, like I said, there's tons of reference. Honestly, it almost reminds you of something that the way you would merch something if you were a celebrity at Comic-Con.
Right.
You know, to where you want to like have a bunch of references to the things that you did so people remember who you are, and, you know, that kind of stuff. But it's like, wow, it's a lot. So yeah, I'll have a link to I'll just put the website in the show notes, and, you know, people can look at the bags and stuff on there, because if you scroll down, there's pictures of all their products. So
shout out Gentle Giants.
Yeah. And, you know, according to the website, Sweet Nose Kisses from Tracy and Burt Ward.
Is Tracy one of his dogs?
Oh. No, it's his wife. Who also is no. What would be funny is if it was like Tracy eats it too, and she's you know, like, 67. It's so good, we eat it too. It's like, okay, you've gone a little far, buddy. Either this is very sad that you're, you know, relegated to eating dog food, or it's very good dog food.
Like, we have to eat it first to show the pack that we're the alphas.
Right. The dogs just want the bacon, and they're like, "Listen, you get the kibble like
Yeah,
everybody else in this
exactly.
house, myself included."
You know,
Just pours his coffee over it in the morning.
hell yeah. We all eat kibble here, boys.
That's right. That's right. No one's, none of us are better than the rest of
Exactly.
us. Oh man. All right. Well, we should move
Oh,
on to
yeah.
the cue the here.
Oh, man. So last week on the question of the week, we asked y'all, what TV show were you completely obsessed with before losing interest before it ended? On Instagram, we got nothing. So it makes my life a little easier. But let's
Awesome.
flip it, Brian. We're going to flip it to Facebook. Where
right.
we have, wow, that's a blast from past. Jesse, he says, Lost. That's
Oh,
a
that's
really
a good one. A lot of people had that feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our old pal Monica, she says House and The Walking Dead.
House. Oh man, The Walking Dead's a really good answer. I can't believe I didn't think of that because I quit on The Walking Dead. I watched it longer than I should have and gave up on it because it just lost me. Yeah. House is another good one because it really, I mean, it's a procedural though, right? It's like it's going to be the same thing
Of
every
course,
episode.
Yeah. Diamond, top fan, Big Dev. He says Breaking Bad. What? And
Really?
Justified.
Justified I haven't watched. So
Breaking Bad hurts my heart. That was a whole the whole run was good.
I can kind of see it though, because there is a point in the show where I think it's like sometimes these shows they don't know how many seasons they're gonna get. And I think they kind of get a little with the writing because they kind of don't want to wrap it up too soon, basically, so they don't move the story a lot. And there are some episodes of that show, and I forgot which season it is, where it kind of slows down to where it's not great. And then it really picks up for the last season and a half,
man.
Basically. It really,
I love that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too, but there's definitely some, I could see where somebody could walk away from it.
Let's see here. Stephanie Menard, she says Walking Dead and Castle. Walking Dead's coming across a lot.
Yeah. I honestly think Walking Dead is probably if we got like a bigger audience section, it wouldn't shock me if Walking Dead is one of the number one shows named.
Your mom chimed in. Lost, House, and Living Dead. I'm assuming she means Walking Dead. And then Too Far Fetched.
Yeah. Oh, The Walking Dead, yeah. But yeah. I remember we watched House quite a bit and quit after a while.
Our friend Kelly, she says Walking Dead, Bones, and House.
Okay. Wow. House is up there a bunch too.
House is up there a whole bunch. Zach Ellsworth, he says The Walking Dead, I fell hard in love with it early, but by the end I finished out with a sense of duty more than desire to see what happened.
Oh, see, I tapped out in season I think it was after season 7, and I was finding myself not caring about when they were oh, new season, and I'm I just don't care.
Right.
And that's where I was okay, I'm done with this show. There's no point in watching. And then I heard, I think, that the next season basically wasn't very good, and I was okay, well, that just confirms I'm not going to finish. I'm not going
done.
back. Well, and I don't care how the series ended, really.
Fair enough.
I just don't. So
Kiki.
And I have zero interest in any of the spinoffs. I tried Fear the Walking Dead, and it just never grabbed me. And all the rest that they keep coming out with, I just don't care.
I'm so over the zombie thing anyway, so.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm over
Kiki,
it.
which, by the way, if you want to keep that diamond status, Kiki, you got to answer the questions, and you don't have it right now, so I don't know what to tell you. But she says fair. Desperate Housewives.
Okay. I think a lot of times, what happens on some of these shows, too, is that they run too long. Right? Like Walking Dead, if it was 7 seasons or 6 seasons, something like that, it probably would have been fine. But at a certain when they announced that Andrew Lincoln was leaving the show, the guy who played Rick, I was kind of this is probably where you should end the show. But it's everybody loves Daryl, so it was well, Daryl's still on the show, so we can continue. And it was Can you though? Because you lost Michonne and you lost Rick. It's like I don't know. I don't know that you needed to keep the show going. You could have spun it off at that point and given Daryl his own show.
Adventures of Daryl.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that would have been the better move. Instead, they ran it into the ground basically, and then decided to do spinoffs. So, yeah.
Valerie, she says The League, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, the League she's got a point on. I think I even said that. I think the League should have wrapped up probably a season or two before it did. And Always Sunny, it's tough because every season's got some episodes that are really good.
And then it's got ones that are not.
But every season that they announce a new season of It's Always Sunny, I'm like, really?
Huh, you don't say. Huh.
Like they just announced, Archer's going to be in its final season, and that's another show where I love Archer and I'll still watch it, but I'm like, I'm kind of surprised it got as many seasons as it did. I'm really kind of surprised it didn't end sooner, especially after Jessica Walter died.
Yeah, for sure.
Because losing his mom was such a great character on that show that, it's a little weird without her on the show. I'm kind of glad to see the show coming to an end.
Right.
Also, it's now at the point that when I watch Archer, all I can hear is Bob Belcher.
That's fair.
It's no longer the other way, because when I started watching Bob's Burgers, all I could hear was Archer. Now all I can hear is Bob Belcher in that role, and it is kind of funnier. But
that is funny.
Yeah.
Amy says Walking Dead.
Yeah.
AHS. First few seasons are great, but I can barely make it a few episodes now.
American Horror Story. That's a good one too. There's
I'm like, what the
seasons of that show.
I've never actually watched that show.
Yeah, first couple seasons were pretty good. I can't remember which season, but there's like a couple seasons that are just trash. But it's a season where a show where each season is a different story.
Self-contained, right?
But there's kind of carryover. Like some of the characters have shown back up a little bit, or they've tied it a little together over it. So but that's a good one, actually. I hadn't thought about that either.
Jeff from Hobie, he says Heroes.
Oh, great answer. But that part of that with Heroes was the writer's strike, remember?
Oh, yeah.
First couple seasons of Heroes were really good. Then or was it into the third season, I think, was when the writer's strike was, and it was hot trash after that.
And then Julie, she says Lost. No pun intended. I still don't know what the heck happened at the end. I don't think anyone else does. It's pretty good.
I agree. I never really watched it. I watched a couple episodes, and then when Jen wanted to watch the finale, I watched the finale with her, and I was just like, this is stupid. Like, I just, I felt like from minute one that show was a show that was purposely trying to confuse people and act like it was like really smart.
I remember watching it on Netflix. I started binging it, and I kind of got into it, and then I just it's like she said, I just stopped.
Yeah.
It just doesn't grip you anymore. Right in the beginning though, I was like, whoa, this is kind of an interesting show.
Yeah.
And then it just got like the smoke monster and was it like a panda or some weird shit or a polar bear or whatever it was?
Like sometimes when these people create shows, they kind of map out like, hey, I've got 4 seasons of this show, right? They go into the network goes, cool, we'll take the show. Season 1 comes out and holy shit, Lost was a massive hit, right?
Yes.
So then the network was like, hey, maybe let's not, plan this as a 4-season show. Let's maybe look at this longer term. So now you got to stretch out these stories. Now you've got a lot of content in the middle, and I think that's what happens.
Got to throw some filler in there.
Talk soup filler?
Talk soup filler.
That's a throwback.
That's all. That was a lot. Facebook really came through this week.
Right, great job.
Yeah. Excellent work, everybody. But that's all I got, man.
Over on Twitter, at GSS012 said The Walking Dead, which, big surprise. That's
surprise.
That seems to be the overwhelming answer. And Cheeto with the super late text entry. He says, Orange is the New Black is the one that comes to mind. I guess it wasn't canceled, but it was finished. Anyway, I really got into it, then never even finished the last season because I just wasn't interested anymore. And that was one I said too, because same reason. Except I didn't even get that far. I watched 2 seasons and was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there
It's
are a lot
over.
of shows that when you watch, you've really, after like 2, maybe 3 seasons, there's so many shows where you're like, they could wrap it here and I'd be okay with that. You know, not every show needs 10 seasons.
Right, for
You know,
sure.
like this, like I haven't seen the new seasons of Picard, right? Or new season, but it was like at the end of season 1, if they had just wrapped it there, I would have been really content and happy with just getting that season and what they did, right?
Mhm.
I've heard the second season's, good too, but it was just, I don't necessarily have to have 10 seasons of every show. And Netflix, is obviously thinks the same way because they don't even like to give shows 2 seasons. But yeah, so those are some really good answers, though. I'm actually a little surprised that there weren't more Game of Thrones answered.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody pretty much that was really into Game of Thrones pretty much stayed through the very end.
Oh yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the ride, and then it just started getting bad.
Yeah.
But you're like, well, maybe it's gonna get better at the end. Maybe next episode will get better, and it
Yeah.
just never did.
I think it came down to a lot of people were like, I'm so invested, I got to finish.
Yeah.
type of thing.
Resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that was a show where it needed more episodes in that final season so that they could have not resolved the Ice King in like one fucking episode. That they'd been building up for years.
Yes.
It reminded me so much of Final Fantasy VII, where you grind and grind and grind and grind, then you face Sephiroth and you just like flick him in the nose and he dies, and you're like, oh,
Like, oh, all right, that's how that ended, I guess.
oh, that doesn't seem very. Wow. All right. So, all right, yeah, good answers though.
That was a good one.
Yeah. All right, let me find I lost my page. There it is.
You lost your
All right.
page.
Man, I gotta dig some more questions here. 1 through 5.
4. I don't know
4?
what that was. Something
right.
dropped.
If animals could swear, which species would swear the most?
Probably cats. Dogs,
you're probably right on that.
Dogs or birds.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Like I always picture in my head, because we have these pair of mourning doves that hang out around our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And they're always in the driveway. And, as you're about ready to run them over because they're stupid, they like take off like right in front of your car. And it always seemed to me they're like fuck,
I feel that's where I think I agreed with you, especially on cats, is like how like a lot of cats are so like skittish, you know, that and the look on their face like fuck, like when you catch them in something or whatever, and also just the attitude of cats very much seems like they would tell you to go fuck yourself.
Do you mean catitude?
Catitude, yeah. Oh Jesus.
I said it.
I mean, the only other answer would be honey badgers, because honey badgers give no fucks.
Yeah, they give no fucks.
But yeah, I think cat feels like the answer to me, because they're very much, they feel like they would just cuss at you all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They feel like it would just be part of their vocabulary and regular rotation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like hey, where's my fucking food?
Especially that.
Yeah, the way they sass at you and all that kind of stuff, like
little bitches.
Yeah.
Pieces of shit.
Right. So, all right. So there you go. So with that, head on over to saltylanguage.com. You can find all the links to our socials and all that kind of garbage. Please check out tangibonetwork.com, the home of the network we're part of. And if you're looking to find a network for your show, talk to geez, I'm a fucking mess, Tony. I'm falling apart.
We should get Mark back on. It's been a while. Yeah,
we should. Yeah, if you're looking for a network for your show, hit them up. If you happen to talk to Mark, tell him I can't talk anymore. Apparently, I guess.
Yeah. Brian needs speech lessons.
But also, do you know what would help? Not speech lessons. If he finally
Cigars?
would get, the Salty Language Memorial Studio.
Memorial?
Opening,
wait, are we dead?
Close enough.
Salty Language Memorial Studio.
What would be funny is to have like a list of all the all the podcasts that have been part of the network that are no longer part of the network. Just a long list.
I mean, Brian, do you know how many podcasts we've been on networks with that no longer exist? Yeah. Networks no longer exist.
I was gonna say most of the networks we've been on no longer exist. This is the only one that does.
Brian, I have an idea. All right, so we need a Salty Language shirt. And then on the back, it's just all the networks that have died, but we're still surviving.
Just like a line through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're all struck out. Oh, boy. Yep. We just keep going and going.
We're like Tom's tank engine over here. Horrified.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. All right. So, yeah, if you want to reach out to us on Twitter, you can find the show at salty_language.
Don't you mean X? I know.
Nope.
Real quick, I noticed this the other day. Did you notice that they updated the app icon so it looks all distressed? What a fucking it looks really douche.
Stupid. Yeah.
I love how everyone thinks he's the smartest man. And he's just showing his hand. Anywho.
And his comment this week about how he's going to get rid of the block option. Call. What a fucking idiot. Also, that violates Apple and Android store policy.
Idiot.
So if he truly does get rid of the ability to block, the Twitter will no longer be available in those platforms, which seems real smart.
Idiot.
He is. Anyway, so yeah, you can find me on most social sites at Stunami.
You can find me on Instagram at The Monotony. You can find me on TikTok at Salty Language because I run the Salty Language TikTok account. Salty Language Pod on YouTube. If you're watching this, good on you. Like and subscribe. If you're not watching this and you want to, if you want to see that crazy Gentle Giants bag in real life, in real time,
and you do, trust
me. Go to
me.
Salty Language Pod. Patreon.com/Salty Language. I know you and I talked last week about adding more content, but Brian, I'm getting my asshole scoped this Friday morning, so we won't be doing anything Thursday night.
I disagree. I still think you should you need to do it live.
Do it live.
Do it live.
All the beers on YouTube. There will be content coming because I really want to do that. Brian, you also have side content.
Yeah, I have a podcast called The Crazy Life with our friend Jen and Heno, and we talk about mental health, mental illness, mental wellness, addiction recovery, gambling recovery, a whole bunch of other things. This week it was just me and Jen catching up because it's been a few weeks since we've done an episode. But we talked about quite a bit of stuff on there that I thought it was a pretty good talk. So if you're into that, please give us a listen.
Nice.
And yeah, all right. So wow, I lost it. There it is. Jeez. Freaking tabs are. I mean, it's funny. They're actually organized. For once in my life, I only have like 7 tabs open. Usually I have like 98 at any given time.
95 of them are just porn.
Well, duh.
It is 2023, gentlemen.
Right. And the others are just Google searches for those porn. Yeah. All right. So the insult for the week is Haymarket Hector.
Haymarket Hector. All right. This is a guy named Hector that just antagonizes everybody at the Haymarket, I assume.
No, unfortunately.
I
have
no idea what it means then.
Yeah, you weren't going to get this one because Haymarket Hector apparently is a term for a pimp.
Nice. That sounds like a great pimp name. Like, oh shit, here comes Haymarket Hector.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably how it started, you know.
Is that the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz? Has street name Haymarket Hector?
Yes. No. I just looked up on Wiktionary. It shows, and it says a UK slang. It says obsolete also. A thug, bully, or pimp inhabiting the London neighborhood of Leicester or something, Leicester, whatever it is, Square, and the Haymarket. So, yeah, there you go.
Haymarket Hector. That's going to be a future D&D character. Guarantee it.
Haymarket.
Yep.
Pimp.
It's going to be a bard.
Nice. I like it. Good. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. So until next week, you can't have it next week, but within a couple weeks, have a homebrewed seltzer, you'll be fine.
Yeah, we're going to do a full report on that.
I hope so. I was going to say that's going to be content,
Absolutely.
right?
Content for our betas.
For all the beers, if not. I was going to say it should be for all the beers, if nothing else.
I'll tell you what, Brian, when it's kegged and it's ready to drink, I will have to bring you over. And we'll take a first poll in real time with each other, and then we'll embrace.
Are we going to wrap our arms around each other and drink?
Of course we will.
I love it.
We're gonna get some straws and share it like we're at the malt shop.
Oh, well, at the malt shop, he says. Very timely reference.
End. Of
course. Malt with an E? That's weird. All right. Yeah. All right. There you go. We'll talk to you next week.